Well, if you ever go to repot a plant, and these are 3 non-variegated spider plants that we chose not to keep because we got too many of them and we let them freeze. You can see the tops are dead. And I threw them here in my compost pile, and I said, this is a good chance to show somebody what happens when plants get pot bound. I had another one laying here, but my son's helping me today, and he threw a bunch of leaves in there and I can't dig it out. Normally speaking, the roots will get to the bottom of the pot like that and just start going around and around and around. Now this has some beautiful roots because there are a lot of small fibrous roots and big roots, and this is what you would normally find, but it's still pot bound. You can still see a movement around the ball. If you buy a plant that's maybe been in a nursery a little too long and it is pot bound like this at the bottom, you need to take a sharp knife. I like to use a razor blade knife because they fold up and they're just always easy around. And you would just take that and cut down through there. I can't hold that and cut at the same time. 4 places all the way around it. An equal place. Let me at least get the camera where I'm pointing. You know, like you cut it there and cut it there, cut it there, cut it here. And you would just cut all the way through it. Like that. It's hard to do one-handed. And if it looked like this, you would just cut all the way down through the outside edge. Something this bad, I'd probably do 6 times. It's hard to concentrate on my cutting and keep a camera on it. So you would cut this all the way around it. So each one of those that you cut will send out lateral roots. And all the ones that you cut that are no longer attached up here will just die and compost down, and it'll be reused by the plant. But see, that's a mess. So if you bought a plant that looked like that, or one of yours is being repotted, just take that knife and go right on through it. Just like that. About 6 places all the way around. Something like that's the same thing. I can prop it up against the compost pile here. You just would cut right straight through it. At least 4 places around. Something that's this bad, I would do it 6. So all these roots will die off, and all the other roots will send out side shoots. And then you shake most of that soil off of it and plant it again. Now if you bought a brand new plant and it had just got pot bound at the bottom like this, you can tell this is a shallow little pot it was in. And if it was just spun around in a circle, I'd just cut them about 4, 5, 6 places and put it in the ground and plant it like you would a normal plant. But something like this needs a little bit more cutting to it, and if you pull this all away, there isn't much left under it. In fact, I'm going to cut this thing off and pull this thing apart so you can see there's not much soil in it. Now I've split and cut this open, get up in the sunlight, so you can see it. There's not a lot of soil in it. It's mostly root mass. Now if you were going to save this plant with this much root on it, I would probably take a lot of this bottom stuff off because most of that's dead. You can see where when you pull it apart they're brownish, they're not white looking. And get most of this soil out of it so you can plant it in some new soil and the roots can come in contact with new soil. But it's basically, I've seen spider plants been in a pot 5, 6 years and you open it up and there's no soil left in it whatsoever. It is nothing but roots. But that's all I got to say about plants that are pot bound. Sorry for jiggling around, but it's hard to do with a camera in one hand and a knife in the other hand. So I wouldn't cut myself. I pay attention to the knife and not the camera. Thanks for watching.